If you have ever wondered how I write on the screen, I make use of a Lightboard. Previously, I used to have a much smaller one. It was just 4 feet by 2 feet. Not much space on the Lightboard to write on, so I decided it's time for an upgrade. So here's how I went about doing the upgrade. Now, for a Lightboard of this size, you will need a sturdy frame. So I bought some 2x4 lumber from Home Depot and set about setting the frame. The blue thing that you see is plexiglass, which I ordered from a plastic store. Now this plexiglass is what I will write on, but before I am able to do that, I have to figure out how to put this frame together and put that plexiglass onto the frame. Now, I did some comedy of errors. I didn't do the measurements right, so I had to install the frame, but then again unscrew everything and make it the right height that my basement ceiling allows, and then re-screw everything and put together the Lightboard. It took a lot of time, but the finished product was really good. To ensure the frame does not wobble, and a frame of this size can easily wobble, I had to ensure that it is sturdy. So I put a lot of brackets at each joint, and after doing that I found it to be really stable. Then I went ahead and started to put in the legs. Didn't want to make any elaborate arrangement for the legs. It was a simple L on both sides and it stands up pretty well. But before putting on the other side of the leg, the big task is to screw on the plexiglass to the frame, and that needed to be done very carefully because any extra pressure on the plexiglass can easily crack it. So I used oil, and the pilot holes were drilled very cautiously onto the frame so as to ensure that there is no crack, and I put in a screw 1 feet apart. So that was a lot of work again, but everything stood together pretty nicely. My Lightboard upgrade is complete. It's time to peel off the covers and do the quick reveal. It's 8 foot by 4 foot. So 8 foot in length and 4 foot in the width. And it's a big upgrade from my previous Lightboard, which was only 4 foot by 2. I still need to complete a few more of the setup, like put the LED lights across the board. But overall, the majority of the work is done. Finally, the last thing to do is to install the LED lights all across the plexiglass, so the light travels through the plexiglass, and that is what lights up the writings on the plexiglass. And I use some fluorescent markers, and when light hits on that fluorescent marker, it really lights up, and that's how you see very bright writings on the plexiglass. The black background really helps pop those writings. My camera arrangement is such, so I write on the other side of the plexiglass and I shoot from the opposite side. Obviously, the writings that you see on the glass looks like a mirror image or horizontally flipped. So I flip the image as a post-processing on my computer, and everything seems right. But if you observe carefully, you will see that it feels like I'm writing with my left hand. I'm not left-handed, I'm right-handed. It looks that way because the image is flipped. So that's my little story behind Lightboard upgrade. Cheers.